As decisions and court records demonstrate that to this point, nowhere in North Carolina can anyone provide evidence of the three jingles preconditions. In the absence of any evidence of the three jingles preconditions, the chairs elected not to use race in drawing these proposed districts, strictly to protect the state from lawsuits alleging illegal racial gerrymandering. To be clear, the chairs do not believe that the use of racial data would have been helpful in reaching any political or other legislative redistricting goal. Any political considerations in line drawing have been informed by political data, not racial data. That said, now that the maps under consideration have been filed and made public, the chairs will now formally direct central staff to load racial data into the Maptitude software following this committee meeting and apply that data layer to the proposed congressional and Senate maps. We ask that central staff apply that racial data, update the stat packs accordingly, and make that information publicly available on the General Assembly website as soon as possible. To emphasize once again, the chairs did not use racial data and statistics at any point in the construction of these districts. And the publication of racial statistics here does not inform the placement of any residents with any districts within these maps. Finally, as mentioned earlier, the committee will meet next week on Monday, and amendments to these bills will be considered at this meeting. I do believe that meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Monday, but notices will come out. The chairs at that time will consider any evidence that a member of this committee or a third party advocating altering plans for racial reasons brings forth that provides a strong basis in evidence that the jingles preconditions are present in a particular area of the state. Only then will the chairs consider using race in amending the districts to protect the state from liability under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Are there any questions? Senator Blue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Especially in the explanations of the last areas that you dipped into, I was reading the Allen versus Milligan case, the Alabama case that sort of breathed the new life into Section 2 challenges to redistricting plans. And it points out pretty specifically that, and I'll quote generally and then I'll ask you a question. It says, when it comes to considering race in the context of districting, we have made clear that there is a difference between being aware of racial considerations and being motivated by them. Section 2 itself, this is a continuation of a quote, Section 2 itself demands consideration of race. The question whether additional or whether majority-minority districts can be drawn after all involves a quintessentially race-conscious calculus. And the reason that I raise this now, although you were explaining the general conditions, is that even in the state jurisprudence, the Stevenson case says that's the first thing you do before you undertake redistricting. Do an analysis of the Voting Rights Act to see whether or not there's a necessity to draw districts. And that sort of leads up to this quote in Allen versus Milligan, that Section 2 itself, which our state's jurisprudence requires, is that you do this Section 2 analysis, and Milligan says that Section 2 itself demands consideration of race. And I'm trying to figure out how you don't do what the controlling case law says you're going to do from the federal standpoint, as well as a controlling case law from the state perspective in the Stevenson case.
Senator Blue, my response to that would be simply that we believe we can comply with both the Voting Rights Act and the Stevenson Act simultaneously. We believe that any concerns with the Voting Rights Act will be addressed with the racial data that we've now directed staff to do. And if adjustments are necessary at this point, we will consider them before the maps move forward. But we did not feel there was any need for the initial draw of the maps or districts to be done in consideration, only that the ultimate maps would make sure that that criteria was looked at.
Yeah, and if I could follow up, the only reason I raise it is that redistricting session after redistricting session after redistricting session in the state for the last 40 plus years have resulted in us making the same mistake. It happened in the 80s, it happened in the 90s, it happened in the alt portions of this century, and it happened in the teens. And so I'm hoping that we can consider all of these things. There's some smart lawyers around here on our staff and in other places, so that we don't get it wrong this time. Because I think that there are ways that we could address this that resolves that issue. Because one of the significant things is that if somebody is suing you, it's not necessarily based on a record, because we know that the record in this case isn't going to be what your thoughts are, what your intentions are. It's going to be the result. And if we can forecast what that would be about, it seems that we could address it before it happens and not go down this road for the fifth decade. That's the reason I raise the issue.
Appreciate it, but I'd also say that changing landscape and legal landscape may also be the reason for some of those changes over the decades, and others. We used to have to go through pre-clearance and do those type of things as well, and those are either part of the process or not part of the process now that's coming in. But I think we feel that we've established a process in developing these maps that will allow us to meet all the requirements, including the constitutional requirements that we believe do not allow us to use predominantly based on race-drawn districts.
One last comment on that, because I think that we can take some direction from Chief Justice Roberts' statements and implications a couple of weeks ago that until Congress decides to change Section 2, Section 2 is the controlling law of the land. And they have pretty much articulated what they believe Section 2 means now. And I was just going back, pulling together the jurisprudence that's been developed over the last, not starting with North Carolina, but certainly accentuated in North Carolina in the Jingles decision in the early 1980s. And it's pretty clear now that they've cleared up some of the confusion. And I think that Justice Roberts' quote from those cases pretty much sets us on the path that we ought to be looking at. And that is, until Congress decides something different about what Section 2 means, different from what the court has interpreted to be, we're bound by what it says and how it's been interpreted.
I appreciate your comments. Senator Marcus.
Yes, I had a question about your initial statement there as well, sort of following up on what Leader Blue said. I took notes while you were speaking, and you said that no one in the state can provide evidence that the three Jingles preconditions are present or apply in this case. And it seems to me that the way you determine if they're there or not is you do a racial polarization study to examine the racial voting patterns in different parts of the state. So my question is, have you done that? In other words, have you looked to see if they're present or not? Or are you waiting for somebody else to bring it to you?
I will say that this is not a new process we're beginning. This is a continuing process, and there are statements in court records that exist from as close as 2 years ago that indicate that the conditions of the Jingles factors were not met.
Follow-up clarification. So I think what I heard you just say is you haven't done a racial polarization study in to help draw these maps.
Studies regarding racial polarization were done as part of the lawsuit a year and a half ago, since the census data has been released.
Okay, and then I guess just one follow-up. So we're to take you at your word. You said a couple times here that you've not used racial data to draw these maps, and that you're only now adding it to the state system for the public to see the racial implications of the map. And I'm curious if we're to just take you at your word for that, or if you will be making your redistricting records publicly available so we know what racial data was used or not used in drawing these maps.
I will confirm that the chairs have not used racial data. You can confirm yourself with central staff. It is not part of the software system. The data has never been uploaded to, including the computer that was provided to the Democrats in 605, racial data has not been added up to any of the systems that draw the maps and was not considered by myself, Senator Daniels, in the drawing of these maps. It's simply not there.
It's not on the maps that the computers that have been made publicly available in this building, but we don't know what other computers might have been used or what other data is available. So that's why I'm asking if all if all of your records related to drawing these maps will be available to the public, or again, are we just supposed to?
I will simply state again in front of this committee and others that no racial data was used in drawing this map. I've never figured out in all the mathematics how you prove a negative. If I could do it, I would, and there's a Nobel Prize in that. But I would say that racial data was not used in the drawing of these maps.
I don't think it'd be worthy of a Nobel Prize, but I will say if you provide all the evidence and all the records related to drawing of maps and nowhere in all of that evidence is there racial data, then I think that's how you prove you didn't use it. But if you don't want to go that route, then I suppose we can't force you now. I'll stop there for now.
I prefer to simply not use it. Any other questions or comments? All right, we will then move, I'm going to step over and begin the presentation of 756. I will present 756 and 757 here, and we'll hand the gavel to Senator Daniels to others, but I think we can go ahead and start handing out what we have for 756.
756 is on the member's desk. Would you like us to go ahead and start handing out 757?
Yeah, and you can bring the map up there if you like.
Senator Heiss. 756 CBP-5.
There is a code and all that to which staff member was there when this one was finalized.
If they can, they have a copy of the bill on their desk. The short title of the bill at the very end should also say CBP-5.
And
Well, not quite yet, but
you can read that bit. If you can read the text of that bill, binary is in your future as well.
they'll just be in the queue. All right, Senator Heiss, I believe you're prepared to present Senate Bill 756, so you're recognized to present the bill.
Okay. I will go through individually what these congressional districts are and what's there. I'll begin in numerical order. Congressional District 1, which is a light mustard colored in the northern eastern part of the state. Congressional District 1 is a district rooted in the rural northeast North Carolina and coming west into the more deeply, densely populated areas of Durham and Chapel Hill. This district contains 9 whole counties: Bertie, Durham, Edgecombe, Granville, Halifax, Hertford, Northampton, Vance, and Warren, and 2 partial counties, Orange and Pitt. It contains all whole municipalities with the exception of Greenville. The district is drawn from the northeast into the triangle to preserve the district in this area of the state that has existed in one form or another since 1992. This map does that by pairing the rural core of existing district that has been losing population with the growing areas in the triangle. There is no incumbent in this district. It splits only one VTD in Pitt County in order to equalize the population between districts. District number 2, which is a darker blue district. The 2nd Congressional District is located wholly within Wake County and contains more than 93% of Raleigh's population. It contains all of Mooresville and almost all of Apex, Cary, and Knightdale as well. The district splits only one VTD, and there are 2 current incumbents in this district. Congressional District 3, which is the pinkish purplish in the eastern part of the state. Congressional District 3 is a district based in eastern North Carolina. For many years, this district has essentially provided a mirror image to the 1st Congressional District in this area of the state, and this configuration is no different. It contains 17 whole counties, 2 split counties, Pitt and Wayne. The district contains only 2 split municipalities, Goldsboro and Greenville, and only 2 split VTDs are required in order to equalize population. There are 2 incumbents in this district. Congressional District 4, which I'm trying to find its, is a more pinkish purple in the northern center of the state. The 4th Congressional District is rooted in the Greater Triangle area. It includes all of Alamance, Caswell, Person, Randolph, Rockingham, and Stokes counties, as well as the portions of Chatham, Orange, and Wake County. These counties have similar geography, industry, and proximity to the population base in the region near Durham and Raleigh. There is 1 split VTD in Chatham County and 1 in Wake County. Both were split to equalize population between the districts. The current incumbent is included in this district. Congressional District 5, which is the yellow in the northwest. Congressional District 5 is based in the northwestern corner of North Carolina and is made up of 9 whole counties. Those counties are Alexander, Allegheny, Ashe, Caldwell, Surrey, Watauga, Wilkes, and Yadkin. The district also contains portions of Forsyth and Guilford County. Almost 75% of Greensboro residents are kept together here in Congressional District 5. The district is also home to 1 incumbent. Congressional District 6, which is purplish, darker purplish, more in the center of the state. The 6th Congressional District is made up of Iredell and Rowan counties, as well as portions of Cabarrus and Guilford County. This is a compact district that maintains a district taking in suburban areas between Charlotte and the Triad that existed in various versions of congressional maps since the 1990s. This district splits 1 VTD each in Cabarrus and Guilford counties for the purposes of equalizing population. There is no incumbent in the district. Congressional District 7, which is the, I'll go with light blue, color in the southeastern part of the state. Congressional District 7 is made up of 5 whole counties in southeastern North Carolina, including Bladen, Brunswick, New Hanover, Onslow, and Pender counties. It contains a portion of Cumberland County. There are only 2 split municipalities in the district, Fayetteville and Hope Mills. It contains more than 97% of Hope Mills. The district contains 1 split VTD. The current incumbent lives in this district. The 8th Congressional District, which is a reddish color, more into the south, it is made up of 6 whole counties: Harnett, Lee, Montgomery, Moore, Sampson, and Stanley, and part of 3 other counties, Chatham, Cumberland, and Hoke. There is 1 split VTD in each of these partial counties to equalize population between the district. The incumbent lives in this district. Congressional District 9 is situated along the southern border of the state. It contains 6 whole counties: Anson, Columbus, Richmond, Robeson, Scotland, and Union. It also includes portions of Cabarrus, Hoke, and Mecklenburg counties. 1 VTD is split in each of these counties for the purpose of equalizing population. Congressional District 10, which is a pewter green, I guess we'll call that. The 10th Congressional District is made up of 4 whole counties: Catawba, Iredell, Lincoln, and Yadkin, as well as part of Forsyth County. It is a compact district that connects the suburbs outside of Charlotte-Mecklenburg County to Winston-Salem. The district keeps 92% of Winston-Salem's population in the same district, splits one VTD in Forsyth County for the purpose of equalizing population. The current incumbent lives in the district. The purple in the west. Congressional District 11 is a western North Carolina district that takes in most of the mountain counties, and the westmost tip of North Carolina contains 15 whole counties. It splits one VTD in Buncombe County to equalize population, and there are only two municipalities split by the district, Black Mountain and Montreat. There is one incumbent in this district. Congressional District 12. This is the blue in Mecklenburg County. The 12th Congressional District is a Charlotte district. Charlotte population is too large for one congressional district, so it must be split. And 95% of the district is made up of Charlotte, and 81% of the city is in this congressional district. There is one VTD split, and there are two incumbents in this district. Congressional District 13, which runs from, looking for the color. Where's 13? It's Wake. Yes. Which runs from Wake County to, I'll go ahead and get it. Congressional District running, it's green. Running from Raleigh suburbs to the east coast in Carteret County. It is made up of 6 whole counties: Carteret, Craven, Duplin, Johnson, Jones, and Pamlico, as well as a portion of Wayne County. The district also contains the unincorporated areas of Wake County in the north and southeast of Raleigh. VTDs are split in Wake and Wayne County for the purpose of equalizing population. There are no incumbents in this district. And the 14th Congressional District, which is a wonderful mustard, dark mustard color. That's what coming in. The 14th Congressional District is made up of 4 whole counties: Burke, Cleveland, Gaston, and Rutherford, and the portion of Mecklenburg County that contains the municipalities and towns to the west and north of Charlotte, as well as a portion of Buncombe County. VTDs are split in Buncombe and Mecklenburg County only to equalize population. The district will be open with no incumbent. And going through our criteria, all 14 of these districts are known to be, are drawn to 0 deviation or to 1 person less than the ideal. Point contiguity is not used on this map. The map divides just 12 counties. There is one in each district situated entirely within Mecklenburg and Wake County, which are the only 2 counties of sufficient size to contain an entire congressional district. Racial data was not used in the drafting of this plan. There were just 13 total VTD splits in this map. All the districts are compact. Member residence was considered in the drawing of the map. County lines, VTDs, and municipal boundaries were considered when possible to form districts that do not split these existing political subdivisions.
Thank you, Senator Heiss. Any questions for Senator Heiss? Senator Blue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Heiss, in looking at the criteria that the chair has adopted, there's only one city in the state that would have to be split for you not to split any municipality. Is that right?
Senator Heiss.
Was that a confusing question? Let me
No,
ask it.
I believe Wake does not reach that criteria, so Charlotte would be the only that would not have to be.
And Charlotte is the only one.
That would have to be.
And secondly, I really appreciate and admire your admiration for Raleigh. But I take it by this map, then the communities of interest in Carteret County are the same as the communities of interest up in Stokes County? Since pieces of Raleigh are represented in both of those districts that go from Carteret to Stokes?
I would say, as we have in others, we have done what we can to maintain identified communities of interest within this map.
Could you share with us, if you would, what are the communities of interest that overlap with respect to Raleigh and Carteret, and also Raleigh, Carteret, and Stokes, or Rockingham, or Caswell?
I would simply say from geographic location and other subdivisions that we have considered, I would also point out as the criteria would clearly identify that that was not our only consideration in drawing these maps. There are other subdivisions and interests that were also considered.
Further question, Mr. Chairman.
You're recognized for a series of questions.
Looking at traditional redistricting principles, which derive from concepts of due process, how do you satisfy the compactness requirement that typically appears and has appeared in redistricting criteria since the 1960s?
I believe, and I don't have it in front of me, there are two measures of criteria of compactness that were provided to all committee members in the stat pack for each of the districts.
And if I could follow up on that, the one is what, Rioch and Polesby, somebody? Poppy, yeah. And do you know how these districts' compactness compares with the compactness of the two sets of maps that, the set of maps that were enacted in 21 for 22, as well as the set of maps that was adopted by the federal court, or the state court?
State court.
Yeah.
Those numbers are all available. I do not have those in front of me, but I'm sure staff can get you copies of what those compactness scores were for previous maps that were drawn.
One final question, I think that sticks out at you. If you could keep Raleigh whole, which would be about 60% of a congressional district, I think, can you tell me what went into the decision not to do that, but to split Wake County 3 separate ways with pieces of Raleigh in all of the splits?
I would tell you from experience drawing the map, the concept of keeping Raleigh whole and interweaving with the satellite annexations and others of the other municipalities around it that's coming in would require extensive divisions of VTDs and potentially even census tracts in order to maintain those divisions. But we have kept it as what I believe is whole as practical.
And last follow-up, if you found your statement not to be totally accurate, would that cause you to approach this a different way? That is, if you could keep Raleigh whole and accommodate for the gaps between by incorporating them into the same congressional district, wouldn't that enable you to observe this criteria of respecting municipal boundaries?
I think we have respected the municipal boundaries of Raleigh. If you would like to propose something that divides fewer of those other municipalities as well, that's coming in, I think we'll say this several times today, the drawing rooms are open and we would be open to consider those proposals. I think you said you had a series.
Yeah, I got another question. I just was waiting to get the chair's attention. If
I just wanted to comment on one of the things that Senator Heiss, I think, said that compactness data was already included in the stat pack. It is actually not, but the members of the committee can request that information from staff.
And one last question. I noticed that it appears, at least from the way I'm able to see it, Wake County and Mecklenburg County were the only two counties that were split multiple times. Is that right?
They're also the only two counties that wholly contain a congressional district.
And if you had put all of Raleigh in one congressional district, you could have taken the remainder of the county, create another congressional district, right? Joined with the surrounding area. That wouldn't cause it to be split 3 times to 3 separate districts, would it?
No, but that would require the splitting of more counties. The number of county splits that are consistent that have to occur in a 14-district map, if fewer district counties are, if Wake County is split fewer times, more counties would have to be split in the state.
So that, if I could follow up so that I understand what you're saying. If you split Wake County more than one time, then you have to split some other county more than one time?
You would have to split some other county. We have kept as many counties whole as we could in this process. You would have fewer whole counties if you selected one of those counties and only split it once.
It seems logical to me, Senator Heiss, that, and certainly mathematically suggestive, that all you got to do is make 12 or 13 splits and you can get perfectly balanced districts.
Yes, if there are 14 districts, 13 splits would balance the districts.
And you put 4 of those splits in 2 counties,
Correct.
which means that the other 9 are spread out, could be spread out among 98 other counties?
Which means that there are more counties undivided in this map as a result.
Any other questions for Senator Heiss on this map? Senator,
Senator Blue, your mic's still on.
all right, seeing none, hearing none. Senator Heiss, I believe let's move to the next bill that's on the committee calendar. Senate Bill 757. Realign Congressional Districts 2023 CCJ-1. Senator Heiss, you are recognized to explain the bill.
So, and as we change the entire color scheme, I think, did members have this map as well? Okay. This one's been handed out. I will begin again with Congressional District 1 in the Northeast. Congressional District 1 is a district taking in most of the rural Northeast North Carolina. It contains 21 whole counties. We have heard throughout the process it is important to keep the counties forming the belt along the northern border of the state together. We have also heard of the fingerling counties in northeastern North Carolina constitute a community of interest. This version of Congressional District 1 keep these counties together in one district. There is one split county in the district, Granville. There are 0 municipalities split by this district. There is 1 precinct split in Granville County for the purpose of equalizing population. The district retains its current incumbent. Congressional District 2, which is blue, that's what's coming in. The 2nd Congressional District is located wholly within Wake County and contains more than 99% of Raleigh's population. It contains all of Knightsville and almost all of Wendell, as well as a majority of Garner, Rollsville, and Wake Forest. There are 2 current incumbents in this district. Congressional District 3, which is a light mustard yellow, that's coming in, is a district based in southeastern North Carolina. It contains 10 whole counties: Beaufort, Carteret, Craven, Dare, Duplin, Hyde, Jones, Pamlico, Pitt, and Sampson. And 1 split county, Cumberland. The district contains only 1 split municipality, and the only split VTD is required in order to equalize population. There is 1 incumbent in this district. Congressional District 4, pink, that's coming in. The 4th Congressional District is based in the Greater Triangle area. It includes all of Durham and Orange counties, as well as portions of Chatham and Wake counties. These counties have similar geographic, industry, and proximity to the population base in the region near Durham and Raleigh. This district encompasses the whole municipalities of Apex, Carrboro, Chapel Hill, Durham, Hillsborough, and Pittsboro. There is one split VTD in Chatham County and one in Wake County. Both were split to equalize population between the districts. The current incumbent is included in this district. Congressional District 5. Congressional District 5 is based in the northwest corner of North Carolina and is made up of 9 whole counties. It is yellow on this map. These counties are Alexander, Allegheny, Ashe, Caldwell, Rockingham, Stokes, Surrey, Watauga, and Wilkes. The district also contains a portion of Guilford County. There are only 2 municipalities split by the district, Greensboro and Summerfield. Almost 75% of Greensboro residents are kept together here in Congressional District 5. The district is home to one incumbent. Congressional District 6. It is made up of Davidson, Davie, and Rowan counties, as well as portions of Cabarrus, Forsyth, and Guilford County. This is a compact district that maintains a district taking in the suburban areas between Charlotte and the Triad and has existed in various forms of congressional maps since the 1990s. The district splits 1 VTD each in Cabarrus, Forsyth, and Guilford County for the purpose of equalizing population. Congressional District 7 is made up of 6 whole counties. It's the maroonish red 7. It's made of 6 whole counties, including Bladen, Brunswick, Columbus, New Hanover, Onslow, and Pender counties. It contains a portion of Robeson County. There is only one split municipality in the district, and it contains 75% of Lumberton. Almost uniquely and magically, this district contains 0 split VTDs. The populations happen to work out in such a manner that's coming in. Next, the 8th Congressional District. The 8th Congressional District is made up of 6 whole counties: Anson, Montgomery, Richmond, Scotland, Stanley, and Union, and parts of 3 other counties: Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, and Robeson. There is 1 split VTD in Cabarrus County. District 9, light blue. Congressional District 9 is situated in the center of the state. It contains 4 whole counties: Alamance, Hope, Moore, and Randolph. It also includes portions of Chatham, Cumberland, and Guilford counties. 1 VTD is split in each of these counties for the purpose of equalizing population. The current incumbent lives in this district. The 10th Congressional District, which is again, that mauve green, or I'm not good with colors. The 10th Congressional District is made up of 4 whole counties: Catawba, Iredell, Lincoln, and Yadkin, as well as part of Forsyth County. It is a compact district which connects the suburbs outside of the Charlotte area in and around to the areas in and around Winston-Salem. It splits no municipalities and splits 1 VTD in Forsyth County for the purpose of equalizing population. The current Speaker Pro Tem of the U.S. House lives in this district. Congressional District 11, the darker purple. Congressional District 11 is a western North Carolina district that takes in most of the mountain counties and the westernmost tip of North Carolina. It contains 15 whole counties. It splits 1 VTD in Polk County to equalize population, and there are no municipalities split by the district. There is